It is all the news all the time. Yes, it is. And my name is Adam. Yeah. And yeah, it's really nice of you to come and watch these videos. And we're looking at some interesting stuff today. And yeah, take the time to like and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be fantastic. We're looking at this article back in the day, 3 years ago. This is from the Washington Post. I've had to use the archive today to have a look at it because it's under a paywall. But anyway, it's saying, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. So this is the Washington Post op-ed that everybody keeps talking about by Amber Heard, sort of. Is mostly written by ACLU, and she just signed off on it. But since it was written, which is, it starts down here, they've had to write, the editors of the Washington Post have had to add this section at the top, this new section. It says, editor's note, June the 2nd, 2022, remember that date, June the 2nd. In 2019, Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard for defamation arising out of this here 2018 op-ed. On June the 1st, so the next day, following a trial in Fairfax County, VA, a jury found Heard liable on 3 counts for the following statements. All right, this, we'll break it down in a little section. A jury found Amber Heard liable. That means guilty in a court of law, but this is a civil trial, not a criminal trial, so it's called liable. If it was a criminal trial, it'd be called guilty. Considering how much damage the statement she made has done to Johnny Depp and his finances and his potential career, I would say morally it would be considered a criminal offence. If stealing a loaf of bread is a criminal offence, what is stealing millions and millions of pounds from someone by making malicious lies about them? But it's not a criminal offence, it is a civil offence, and therefore it is liable and not guilty. But yeah, these words are synonymous in the same way that donate and pledge are not. So here we have a jury found Heard liable, guilty, on 3 counts for the following statements, which Depp claimed were false, and the jury agreed with him and said they were false and said they were in fact defamatory. So statement number 1, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. Okay, so this is the first statement, which she was found liable for defaming. Okay, I spoke up against sexual violence. Incorrect, there was no sexual violence. So this is wrong. There was no sexual violence, so she can't speak up against it because there was no sexual violence. And faced our culture's wrath. This has to change. Point number 2, then 2 years ago I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Again, there was no domestic abuse, so this becomes a lie. And I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who spoke out. This is wrong because there was no domestic abuse, because it was a lie. Point number 3, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. Again, there was no abuse, and therefore this is not true. So these 3 points the jury did not believe at all. In fact, they didn't just disbelieve it, they punished her for it. They gave her $5 million in punitive damages. They gave her a $5 million fine. This was reduced, yes, by the Virginia state limits on how much you can actually punitively charge people, but they tried to put the maximum that they possibly could. They tried to punish her for her lies. They didn't just disbelieve her, they tried to punish her for it. And it's incredibly difficult to win a defamation trial if the defamation trial is trying to prove that something didn't happen. It's very difficult to prove something didn't happen. It's a lot easier to prove something did happen because you may have evidence. But to constantly prove the negative is very difficult. So for Johnny Depp to win is extremely difficult. And for him to win and have punitive damages imposed is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. And this is where we are at the moment. We're at this position where we've had 3 statements, all of which are utterly rejected, to the point where she's been punished with $5 million in damages. All she had to prove was 1 single incident of domestic abuse throughout the entire marriage, and she would have won. That's all she had to prove. All she had to prove was some form of sexual violence, some form of domestic abuse over the entire marriage. A push, a shove, a punch, anything. That's all she had to prove, and she would have won. And she couldn't prove a single thing. Not a single incident. The only one she won, the only point upon which she won, was in point here. The jury separately found that Johnny Depp, through his lawyer, Adam Waldman, defamed Heard in one of 3 counts of her countersuit. So Johnny Depp is liable, i.e. guilty, because of a statement Adam Waldman made. So Adam Waldman made a statement, and that was said to be untrue. But it wasn't Johnny Depp, and it wasn't violence imposed by Johnny Depp on anyone else. He is guilty because he was linked because it was his lawyer. So he's linked to his lawyer making a statement. That's what he's guilty of. His lawyer making a statement, not punching someone, not kicking someone, not doing anything. His lawyer made a statement, and that statement, the court said, was wrong. Now, I've heard some interesting stuff on the grapevine that said that was part of a deal between the sides of the jury, and they gave one side of the jury this little sop, this little token gesture. It's so that they had a unanimous verdict for the larger verdict. I do not know if that's true. That's all I've heard on the grapevine. But all I heard was this was a little cupcake given to them in order to establish a universal, a unanimous and complete jury choice. So make of that what you will. But the facts, like the actual facts that we've got, is point 1 is untrue, point 2 is untrue, point 3 is untrue, and she won on a statement made by his lawyer. You might think, well, Johnny Depp has been vindicated, he's been completely exonerated, he's free to go about his business, she's a shameful, defamatory liar, she can go and hide under a rock, and that's what you would think would be the situation. Au contraire, mon frère. That rhymed. Even if you win, even if you prove your case, even if you win punitive damages, even if you win every single aspect of the trial, you're still guilty if you are a man. And not only that, if you dare to support a man in this situation, you are going to get attacked. And this is the case for Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween. You remember her in those films from Halloween? All she did was post a photo, and she's become the latest prey to online trolling from the Amber fanatics. The 63-year-old actress faced intense criticism for daring to post a photo of Johnny Depp on Instagram. How dare you after he won his trial? Following the incident, how dare you? The Laurie Strode actress limited her comments on that post, but it was not long after that her fans came to her rescue and took to the internet to present their support for both Johnny Depp and Curtis. So there you go. She dared to post this here picture. There she goes, Jamie Lee Curtis, Motley Crue Redux. Motley Crue. We got Beck, McCain, Depp and Guest, and they're ready for the actual tour. So that's brilliant. But how dare you, how very dare you post a picture of someone who won a trial. And the people making comments who are her fans, the stuff that they were saying was outrageous, and it was incredible what they would do. And this is anybody comes to try and support this guy is immediately attacked by fanatics who cannot accept the jurisdiction of the court. They can't accept the verdict. They literally can't. It just goes beyond. Here's an example of one of these frothing at the mouth nut jobs. Julia Fox, there she is, Julia Fox, reveals why she stood up for Amber Heard amid bitter $100 million trial against Johnny Depp in a candid chat on Emily Ratajkowski's podcast. Still can't say her name properly. So Julia Fox has detailed why she felt compelled to stand up for AH amid the star's defamation trial. Speaking to Emily on the Model's High Low podcast, the actress said Heard's case proved that none of us are safe. If a blonde, beautiful and successful actress like Heard could be allegedly abused. Fox defended AH on Instagram during the Depp v Heard defamation trial in May, writing on Instagram, "This is clearly a sick way of still controlling her life by suing her all over the world." I just don't understand it. I don't understand this inability to see the facts, to understand the verdict, and to see what was actually happening. Did she hit him? Yes. Was it abuse? No. You need to have power to be able to abuse it. She was 25. He clearly was always way more powerful, including physically and financially. Yeah, but getting chased from room to room, people putting cigarettes out on your face, people smashing glass bottles at you, and yeah. So it's all right as long as you're a woman, as far as I can tell. That's good news. So who is this Julia Fox that people listen to that goes on goes on podcasts, is on Mail Online, is feted across the world. Her words are spread across the cosmos as a bastion of truth and veracity and greatness and fantastic. She is a straightforward idiot. Literally, a straight up fool. That's all I can say. Here she is making an outfit out of leaves that she found in the park. I'm like, okay, so this is today, about an hour ago, and she's making leaves. She's got some earrings that she made out of leaves. There's another one. Stunning, brilliant, stunning. So maybe she's just artistic. Maybe I'm being harsh, and this is artistic. To me, it looks like someone with far too much time on their hands, far too little productive actual work being done, and she's just trying to keep herself entertained. But let's have a little listen to this woman.
Billionaires shouldn't exist, period. You did not make yourself a billionaire. Other people made you a billionaire. If those people were to stop buying your product or whatever it is you're selling them, you would no longer be a billionaire. Therefore, there should be no billionaires.
Yeah. She is straightforward, dumb as a box of rocks. Like straight. How do people like take her seriously? It's beyond me. This is just beyond me. If people didn't buy your stuff, you wouldn't be a billionaire. So therefore, billionaires don't exist or shouldn't exist. Brilliant. What are the words of wisdom? What are the pearls of wisdom has this woman got, who is famous for putting on clothes and very, very dodgy eye makeup? Well, that's about it for today. I'm slightly annoyed and with these people and why they're beatified and fated and yet couldn't add up 2 + 2 without taking their gloves off. All right, I've had enough of them. I will see you guys later.